people are too. They don't want to read. They don't want to go out there and do their research. I'm telling you, man, they don't.
They don't want to fact check.
No, they don't. I give away I don't want to call them secrets. Look, if you guys follow me on Instagram story, on Snapchat, I'm out there and I tell you what I do for Bravo Concealment. And I'm not saying that Bravo Concealment is the best gun holster company out there. We're the ones that make the most money. No. But I give away things that we do here. And I've had people, people that run the business with me tell me, maybe you shouldn't be giving away those little things, those little Facebook secrets or whatever it is. I don't want to call them secrets because they're out there. They're out there for the taking. Just need to go out there and do some research. But I give them away and I'm like, dude, 99% of the people aren't going to do anything with it. Why? Because that's why the 1%ers always win. Because those are the people that are going to take it and run with it and do something with it. And the rest of the people, you can give them a map to a chest full of gold. Most people, if it's hard enough, they will not take that route, man. They won't. They just don't want it.
They want you to hand it to them.
They want it. Exactly. They want you to hand it to, and that's okay. It is what it is, man. It's just nature. It's whatever you want to call it, but it's a fact. Most people, they want it handed to them on a silver platter, and then they sit there and they complain why they're not successful. Look, I keep going back to what I say on Instagram story and Snapchat. It's you want to sit down and watch 10 episodes of Game of Thrones on a Saturday and a Sunday? Fine, do it. But you're missing out, man. Well, what am I missing out? You're missing out on a lot. There's so much stuff that you can go out there and do.
No, it's something.
Okay.
I realized it for a second. I was just sitting there on the mic. Blah.
What happened?
He was just breathing on the mic.
Oh, okay.
I was breathing in Dan's ear. Yeah. He just gave me a look like stop breathing in my ear.
Yeah, so I'm
leaving all that in just so.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Leave it in, man.
I'm gonna make his breathing super loud. This made me sound like Darth Vader.
Right? This is no, leave it all in, man.
Yeah, I'm going to.
It's all good. But yeah, going back to California, I don't know. I look, if it happens, dude, honestly, I don't even know if I should care, man. Seriously.
I think they're off doing their own thing a lot of the times, and California just does its own thing no matter what other states or anybody else looks at him doing. But we do see the reactions in a sense. Like, I honestly don't think it's going to happen. It just doesn't seem feasible to me to have California split up into 3 states, just because I feel like the Supreme Court won't allow it either.
Yeah, and I'm not big on politics. I don't know how certain laws are passed, especially something like this. I don't know if this would be considered a law, but this would just be like a major change. But again, I think it's if it was because, well, doesn't really matter. Because I'm looking at it like, if it was because people, well, maybe they are upset, man. Maybe I just don't see it. I don't see where. I read this article and they said they've been talking about this since 2014. This is the first time I hear about it. I mean, yesterday we were sitting down and we were talking, and you're the one that mentioned it, Carlos. Mm-hmm. I hadn't even heard about this. I don't know.
That's why I think it's just like a ripple effect in a sense that like we hear these things that California wants to do, but a lot later than when it actually happens. Like a couple years ago, they also had the California wants to secede. Blah, blah, blah. California wants to secede, and they wanted it to be their own nation, and that just didn't go through. Like, it kind of just fizzled out, and we just didn't hear about it. I feel like this is gonna be the same thing.
But they're gonna vote on. I mean, this is actually going on the ballot, so that's important, right? So
that's true.
People are gonna vote on it. We'll see what happens. It's not within California, because then if they really want to do that, then it goes to Congress, and I don't know how they're gonna.
Do you feel like the separation into 3 states is a good number for them, or they should do it maybe just 2 states, or maybe even more than just 3 states?
I have no idea. Again, I don't even know why they're doing it. I have no idea. The one thing, again, and you mentioned this in the beginning, if they do separate in 3 states and they work together, and I don't know how, if they do or not, I don't think this is a ploy so that they can get more Senate seats and then they can get more laws passed. I don't think it is. But California is a very democratic state, very liberal state, right? For the most part. if Congress sees that they can actually get 4 more seats, because they have 2 seats in the Senate right now, they can get 4 more seats, and they're all liberal or Democrat seats, then maybe Congress will fight for this. It's just it's a chess game, man. From signing the petition all the way to
presenting it to
Congress, it's, you know, how's it going to affect everybody? Because then now I start seeing where maybe Congress will say, yeah, man, let's split it up into 3. Hey, we'll get 4 more Senate seats.
That's why maybe
now we can pass more laws. Because,
maybe they want to fast forward it for like the next presidential election too. I mean,
it could be, yeah, because then now you look at the what's it called?
The election
and the electoral votes. They may be able to get now they have 2 more states that are going to go for, you know, obviously, a Democratic vote.
I don't think they'll get more votes that way, but I feel like
no, but they'll get more electoral votes.
Correct.
You know, and the electoral votes are the votes that actually call the election, right?
That's true.
So,
but then you'd also have to.
But it does split the population, so that's
what I'm saying.
Man.
You would have to get them all on board with that same.
Yeah, the electoral votes. Obviously, Texas has a higher electoral vote count because it has a larger population. So does California. So I don't know how that will work. Maybe it would just even itself out. I didn't research this. We're just talking about it right now. So it could be that it could mean nothing as far as when it comes to elections. But as far as Senate seats, I know that for a fact, every state gets 2 Senate seats. They'll be getting 4 more. It is what it is.
So the way that the California split came about, I think, is because they don't feel like they're fairly represented. But wouldn't you say we have something similar in South Texas, though, compared to Texas? I feel like South Texas's representation as far as what they want to do politically isn't what aligned with what the state wants to do.
Yes. It's South Texas. Again, you know, when you look at the election map, Texas is red except for South Texas and Austin.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Dallas and Houston are still pretty conservative.
Yeah,
when it comes to voting. Yes, but so what do we do? What do I do as a citizen? What do I do as a Texas citizen? Do we call for a split? I don't know, man. I don't think Texas is just so conservative, man, that I think the people that would be calling for a split would be maybe just liberals. You know, like, we don't want to be represented by this state. Because you're right. I mean, there's a lot of people here, especially because of the poverty and the culture, that do vote Democrat. But they take their losses well. You know, they don't sit there and cry about it because, you know, Texas is a red state, and Texas, the electoral votes, they went for, let's say, Donald Trump in this election, and they didn't go to Hillary. It is what it is, but, you know, to call for a split in the state, I mean, that's up to them. I'm on the right side here in Texas. I am conservative. But for somebody that's liberal or a Democrat, I don't know. I don't know if they would care to go that far to do something like that.
That would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen some of the quote unquote potential, or the way that they would want to split Texas, and they would want to split into 5 different states. As far as
I've seen that. I've seen that before. Yeah. And that's pretty interesting. The thing with California, it's such a liberal, for me, it's like, I can easily sit here, and it's probably unfair for me to say this, but I'll say it anyways. That's why liberalism doesn't work, because you have a state that's so liberal. I'm telling you, you can't, it's very hard to conceal carry. They're so anti-Second Amendment. And for me, it's, if somebody's anti-Second Amendment, not automatically, but I'm going to sway for the most part that they are liberal in their ways, right?
That's true.
In the way they think. Look, I mean, movies, right? Hollywood, all that, very liberal for the most part. To me, that just shows me that a liberal state doesn't work. You need some form of conservatism in there. Again, it's coming from me, who's a conservative, man. So I don't know if it's going to hold that much ground, you know, for the people out there. And I know a lot of people that watch this are conservatives as well, because obviously we are a gun holster manufacturing company. But for me, it just shows how a liberal state can't even stand on its own. They're in debt like so much. It's crazy. Again, I don't want to go there because I don't know any numbers or anything like that. But California they've got debt, man. And going back to what I do know is not going back to what I do know, but going back to this, we get a lot of emails from people asking us, or not asking us, but telling us, hey, man, great holster. I'm still waiting for my CHL, for my concealed carry license, my CCL, whatever it is. I'm from California. And I'm like, dude, I feel sorry for you. We get those same messages from people in New York as well, where they're like, dude, your holster's awesome. I just got it. I only use it to go to the range, which, you know, that's another thing. I don't even know if they have a lot of ranges out there, but I'm sure they do, man, upstate New York. But they can't conceal carry, man. It's tough. And for me, it's like, one guy told me, I think I told you, Carlos, yesterday, one guy told me that he's from New Jersey, and he's like, I think I'm going to have to move down to Texas, man, to conceal carry. This is crazy. I've been waiting for my license, or there's just so much red tape involved. And I'm like, dude, you may have to, man. I mean, that's what it takes. But there's always an answer. And I think a lot of people, they don't want, you know, there's some battles that you just can't win, maybe. And so will New York ever be a conservative state where they're pro Second Amendment or concealed carry friendly? Probably not. So what are you going to do about it, man? Are you going to stay there and mope? Fine. Then you know what you're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Don't complain, or pack your bags and move and stop complaining.
That's true.
And I know those things are simple to say. Well, it's easy for you, man. I got a job here. I get it, but hey, man, you know, I can't. The people, I'm not kidding. They'll DM me on Instagram asking what it is that they can do about it. I'm like, move.
Yeah. I mean, what else do they want? I mean, if
my family's here, then don't move. But I want to conceal carry. Then move.
You can't get both.
Yeah, but I'm going to miss my grandma. Then don't move.
Bring her with you.
Yeah. Or get a petition, get all these people, go out there and do something politically. Man, I don't know, dude. I feel your pain. I feel your pain, Clinton, right? But dude, it's on you. It's on nobody else. You know, it really is. Suddenly I veered off to, like, you know, get off your butt and do something. But it just comes down to that, man. I know a guy, a real good friend of mine. We go to church together. He came from California. He's been in Texas for about 7 years. He hates California. I'm like, dude, isn't it beautiful out there? Isn't it like, yeah, that's all it's got going for itself, but
the landscapes and stuff.
I hate
nice.
it, man. And I'm like, why? He goes, because I got a taste of Texas. I'm like, really? And I asked him the same thing that we were talking about earlier, where, you know, sometimes we come across a little, what's the word, Dan?
Conceited.
Yeah, conceited, right? And so he goes, yeah, but I love that about Texas, man. And I'm like, all right, cool. You know how we get Texas edition trucks? Do they get like California edition trucks?
No.
Do they get a King Ranch, a Ford King Ranch?
No.
Well, obviously King Ranch is in Texas, but do they have a ranch like the Ponderosa Ranch? No, that was Nevada, right?
But certain states do. Like, I think the Nevada, New Mexico area, they get like Sahara edition or desert editions.
I think I saw like a Bighorn edition, like Sahara or I don't know, something like that. But yeah, man, we are conceited, but people love us, man, because we got something good. And I don't think we are conceited. We just have something good, and it is what it is.
We just got a lot of Texas pride.
There's a lot of Texas pride.
Talking about other states though, and their gun laws. I'm curious, when you travel, do you have a problem conceal carrying in certain states, or have you ever had a problem conceal, or how do you conceal carry when
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what about airplanes? Like, how do you conceal carry on an airplane? How do you travel with, you know,
your weapon?
Your weapon,
in essence.
Yeah. In a Bravo holster, they'll never find it. It's even like not even the metal detectors. It just conceals so well. Get a Bravo. No, you can't fly. You can't. Obviously, you can't take a gun into an airplane, into the, what do you call it, the fuselage, whatever.
Yeah, as a carry-on.
Yeah, as a carry-on, you can't take it in a backpack or anything like that. It has to be in a suitcase. The suitcase, it's crazy, bro. This is what I know, because I've traveled to Miami, I've traveled to Las Vegas, I've traveled where else? A couple other places I can't remember. It has to be in a suitcase, right? The suitcase has to be closed. Within the suitcase, it has to be in a lockbox. The lockbox has to have a key, and it can't. The ammunition can't be in the same lockbox. The ammunition doesn't have to be under lock and key, but it has to be within the same suitcase, and it has to be in its original
packaging.
Like, you can't open the ammo box. It has to be in its original package, and that's pretty much it. And then when you get there, you have to let them know that you've got a gun, and you have to fill out some paperwork and stuff like that. It's excruciating, bro. But I'll still do it because, you know, obviously I conceal carry everywhere I go. Now, there's a thing called reciprocity. I think it's called reciprocity.
Yeah, where your state laws carry over.
Exactly. So they carry over. So I make sure that, like in Nevada, they don't carry over. So I took my gun, but I kept it in my hotel room. I wouldn't carry it with me. In Florida, they do carry over. So when I went there, I was actually concealed carrying out there. So you just have to check with the state laws and make sure that your concealed carry license is actually accepted in that state. That's basically it. If you're going to fly, you just got to be careful. Although I've heard some crazy stories in New York where people that fly from another state into New York and they follow all the procedures for handguns, they find out that there's a handgun, and they've actually been, I don't want to say thrown in jail, but they've actually been arrested, detained until everything clears out. I mean, New York is a very, very unfriendly gun state, super unfriendly. I don't know if it happens in Chicago. I think you can Google this. Go to YouTube and just put their like nightmares of carrying a weapon or taking your weapon on an airplane, and you'll see all the videos out there. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. So I know if I'm going to a very liberal state, I may not take my weapon. You know, I may not, because I don't want to get into trouble. And that's because a lot of these people don't know the laws. A lot of these people that airport security and the TSA, I don't want to say that they don't know the laws. Maybe they do know the laws, but to a certain extent, they have pull, man. I've flown out of McAllen, and you should see the TSA. I've flown out. Look, I don't dress tactical, but I've flown out with guys that do dress tactical that are with me, and they'll pull us aside because I'm with him, and he's got 5'11" pants, and he's got the big old, army boots on.
He's strapped in.
Yeah, and look, they look at us and they say, "Hey, man, these guys look a little suspicious, especially that guy, and he's with them. So let's pull him over and talk to him." That happened to us once, and I remember telling this guy, like, "Dude, kind of like dress it down a little, man, next time." But he's the type of guy that likes to push the envelope. He actually had an AR mag. He was carrying a backpack. And I think it was like a 511 or something like that, or that type of,
like a tactical bag.
Yeah, very tactical bag. I mean, it had all the straps hanging. I think I have one down there. But anyways, he was carrying that. It was all camoed out and stuff like that. It was like
gotta hide from the TSA. Right?
Yeah, gotta hide from the TSA or in the plane, right? Yeah, and so he had a mag carrier. I think it was a Bravo mag carrier. Just the mag carrier. It wasn't it was an AR mag carrier. There was no AR magazine in it. And I'm thinking, why are you doing that? He's like, it was just a mag carrier. I go, I know, man, but why are you calling attention?
He's instigating, basically.
Kind of, to a certain extent. And so, look, he can do whatever he wants, man. And he's right. It's just a mag carrier. I get it. But that's a red flag, right? So don't get upset if they pull you aside. Now, should the TSA be there? He would tell me, like, look, the TSA shouldn't be there, man. This is against the law. And, all this and that and the other. And I get his argument, because, you're guilty until proven, or you're innocent until proven guilty, right? What is it? What amendment is that? I think it's one of the amendments. Anyways, but at the same time, don't call action to yourself, man. Or not action, but don't. I mean, if you walk around like that, what's going to happen? basically.
You draw attention to yourself.
You're going to draw attention and they're going to pull you aside. And you can sit there and say, well, this is unconstitutional. They don't care, man. They're doing their job.
Kind of ironic since he's wearing all camo, right? He's drawing attention to himself in all camo.
Yeah, it's kind of like the predator,
opposite.
right? Drawing attention to himself.
The opposite intent.
Well, camo inside an airport isn't really, an airport hangar isn't really going to hide you, man.
Well, you can just have like,
You can try though.
like instead of having like forest or desert print camo, just have like people print camo. So
That's
it's just like
it, man.
suitcases instead of like little splotches of brown and green and black. It's
Yeah,
just like
captain's
suitcases.
hat.
Yeah, captain's
He
hats
shows
and
up. He
stuff.
shows up to TSA in like a ghillie suit or something. And they'll be like, "Well, what's going on?"
What's that?
You know what a ghillie suit is? It's one of those ones made out of like the leaves and stuff.
That's what snipers use.
The ones where they like just lay down and you can't see them at
Snipers
all.
use them to
That's
blend in
funny.
with the environment.
Why are you guys stopping me? Why are you guys putting me to the side?
Do I
You
look
know-
suspicious?
Yeah. You guys never seen a ghillie suit before?